Ever dived on a ship from a Hollywood movie or swam through a plane that looks like a shark? Well, let's dive into the wild, crazy wrecks of the British Virgin Islands. Hey everybody, it's Torben here from Divein, the place where we test dive gear, explore the best dive spots on the planet, and gives you everything you need to know about the underwater world. We've just been diving in the British Virgin Islands, and in this video, I'll take you through everything you need to know about these Caribbean destinations. We'll cover why it's worth a trip to the BVI, when to go, the best wrecks and how to dive them, and we'll talk about the top side things as well that you should experience while you're here. This is really worth the trip. Now, let's dive in. If you follow Divein for a while, you know that we test a lot of dive gear, and even though we love it, we can't use it all. So at some point in this video, I'll let you know how you can get your hands on some of the dive gear and hopefully bring it on your next trip to the BVI Island. Why go there? The British Virgin Islands are wreck divers' dream, not just because of the famous sights, but because there's such a variety packed into a small and easy to dive area. You'll find historic steamships, sunken airplanes, modern art installations, and even a legendary floating bar that ended up at the bottom. Conditions are about as diver-friendly as it gets. We got calm seas, mild currents, and water temperatures ranging from 78 Fahrenheit 25 degrees to 84, 29 degrees. So really summer all year round. Most dive sites sits around 30 to 90 feet. So that's 9 to 27 meters, which means long bottom times. And you don't have to worry about going into decal when you're enjoying your time on the wrecks. Visibility is usually between 60 to 100 feet. So 18 to 30 meters, which is, to be honest, almost perfect for, taking in this full-size wrecks when you're out diving them. You can really see from one end to the other. If you're a beginner looking to do your first wreck, you'll find plenty of easy dives, and if you're advanced chasing deeper technical dives, the BVI delivers on that too, sometimes with multiple wrecks on one dive as well. So really BVI has it all. But when should you go? Well, BVI can really be dived year round, but each season feels a bit different. So December to March, this is the dry season with the visibility that is really excellent. Water temperatures are around the 78 to 80 degrees, so 25 to 27 degrees Celsius. And you might even spot some pelagic life, so some of the big things you can see here as well. This is high season though, so it can get busy, both top side and below. July to November, this is hurricane season, so storms are possible, but you can still dive here most of the days. Water is the warmest, peaking at 84 degrees Fahrenheit, 29 degrees Celsius. Sites are quieter, and while runoff can affect, a lot of the wrecks are offshore, so most of them has good visibility still. So even in off-peak month, there are dive operators running year round, and you can really enjoy diving and you don't have the crazy crowds. April to June is probably the best time overall. The weather stays dry, crowds are really thinning out, and water is warming up to 81 to 83 degrees, 27 to 28 degrees Celsius, and seas are really calm at this point of year. Before we jump into the wrecks, a quick thank you to BVI Wreck Week and the Moorings Group for making this trip possible. Wreck Week celebrates the BVI underwater heritage with a mix of wreck dives and topside events. On our trip, we joined beach cleanups and we even did ocean-themed trivia nights. So really a packed week, both above and below the water. And for the week, our home was a 4-bedroom catamaran from the Mooring Yachts Group charter company. Honestly, there's no better way to see the BVIs than by boat. If you are interested in Wreck Week or joining the BVI or planning a trip here, check out the links in the description below and tell them that Divein sent you. Where to dive in the BVI? Well, the British Virgin Islands are volcanic chains with more than 60 islands and cays, though only about 16 of them are inhabited. Tortola is the biggest and also home to the capital, Road Town, as well as most dive shops. Virgin Gorda and Jost van Dyke are other key islands here as well. Anegada is the outlier. It's flat and built on coral and limestone rather than the volcanic rocks that most of the other islands are built on. It's the longest sail from the other islands, but the rest are close enough that you can knock out multiple wrecks in a single day. You can literally dive a World War II wreck in the morning, swim through sunken plains before lunch, and finish your day exploring a 19th century steamer, all within 1 hour boat ride. Now let's go through the wrecks themselves. First up, the legend RMS Rhone. This is a 310-foot, 94-meter Royal Mail streamer that went down in a hurricane October 29, 1867, taking 123 passengers and crew with her. Today, the wreck lies off Salt Island in two main pieces, which makes this perfect for a two-tank dive or 2 dives on the day. The first dive is usually done at the bow. It rests at starboard side at maximum 75 feet, 23 meters. You can weave through the guts of the ship or just, hover near the fallen crow's nest, which is now lying on the sandy bottom but covered in coral growth. Really beautiful. The stern is sitting around 60 feet, 80 meters, and is great for the second dive because it is a bit more shallow. Here you'll find a really big bronze propeller, the intact drive shaft, rudder as well. So everything you need, like this is the engine room. So everything that's left from there, there's often a bit more current on this side of it, but it is really a bucket list wreck dive for many, and it is so great, even though the second dive is a bit more suited for advanced divers because of the currents. I would say most divers can do it anyway. For a complete change of pace, drop in at the Willy T. This is actually the second version of the famous floating bar or party boat. It was sunk in August of 2019. It was intentionally sunk off Norman Island as part of a WWII project to create artificial reefs, and is now a really nice dive attraction. It's 100-foot steel schooner style ship that sits upright at around 65 feet, 20 meters of water. It's a solid dive for new divers or divers who just moved into the advanced, because it has wide open interior and space that makes it simple and safe to penetrate down into. It's a really nice dive. Not only will you spot all the marine life, like groupers and grunts, but you also spot the statue of a pirate on board, so forever stuck in David John's locker. And don't forget to walk the planks before you dive in. So this is again a party boat, and all the relics that was stuck on top that you were using for a pirate party is now your party floating underwater. The Willy T floating bar is really perfect for that fun dive. Next up, we have the Kodiak Queen, a wreck with a history almost as dramatic as the dive itself. This former World War II Navy full barge that actually survived the attack on Pearl Harbor in the years that it was servicing in Alaska and the Caribbean. And then in 2017, it was transformed into an underwater art project. So this centerpiece of this art project was a giant rebar and mesh cracker sculpture wrapped around this hull, making it one of the most creative artificial reefs in the world. Unfortunately, a Category 5 hurricane didn't have the plans to keep it this way, so it shredded it completely, leaving nothing but some of the rebar fragments still intact on this wreck. Still, this wreck is a fantastic dive. So you have the fragments from the sculpture itself, and then you have a bunch of open swim-throughs in this wreck. It's 180 foot large, 55 meters, sits on its side at around 60 feet of water, 18 meters. Because the structure is still intact, you can swim in. There's multiple swim-throughs, wide open areas. You got plenty of marine life swimming in and out of this area. We're talking schools of snappers and grunts and jacks patrolling this wrecks. And then there's lobsters, moray eels hiding inside the shadows. Really amazing dive. Now let's head to Wreck Alley, just off Cobra Island. This side is a cluster of intentionally sunk ships that goes all the way back to 1990s when it all started. And then it's been continuing up until, well, it last sunk was in 2009. Today there are 4 wrecks lying within swimming distance of each other, all on a sandy bottom at around 65 to 85 feet, 20 to 26 meters. The first we'll go through is the WWII, a cargo vessel that was sunk in 1991. Sits upright and is, easily accessible cargo ship, or you can access the cargo holds in the deck space as well. Just beside this one, we got the Pat, which is a small tugboat that was sunk in 1995. It's leaning slightly and is partially actually overlapping the WWII. And then we've got the Beata, a former inter-island freighter sunk in 2000. We also got the Island Seal, which is the most recent sunk in 2009. It's lying a bit further north, but still within swimming distance. 3 of the wrecks is upright and simple to penetrate. We got open entry points. Visibility, again, here on WWII is excellent, making it easy to go into, and we don't have much current here. So really a fantastic wreck diving opportunity for almost any diver. Between the wrecks, we've got plenty to see as well. So we got small garden eels popping out of the sand. You got occasional reef sharks cruising by, snappers and lobsters are, and then we got the occasional eagle ray passing as well. So really an abundance of things to see. We also have the Sharkplaneo. This is one of the most playful and creative dive sites in BVI, or perhaps the world actually. So it's located just off Great Duck Island. It combines artificial reef with sculpture, so this is a theme that BVI really likes, and this one really packs in a sense of humor as well. So this was sunk in 2019, and it features 3 small aircrafts that has been transformed into sharks. So we got 2 Pipers and 1 Cessna aircraft that has been modified with welded fins, teeth, and eyes, turning them into a bull shark, a hammerhead shark, and a reef shark. So really a fun way of creating artificial reefs. The plane sits on a sandy bottom around 45 feet, 14 meters, and are arranged in a circle with around 40 to 50 feet, 12 to 15 meters apart, and with their nose pointing inward. So it's a shallow, easy, and really photogenic dive. You got juvenile fish that are swimming in between the wrecks. We got lobsters, eels, yellowtail snappers, you know, plenty of marine life to see, and just a really funny, not so typical reef to do. For the conditions of this one, the Sharkplaneo is really the perfect dive for beginners or for anyone who just wants a relaxing second dive of the day. Finally, we have Chikusen. It's one of the most thrilling and remote dives in the BVI. It's more like an expedition than that casual wreck splash as a lot of the other ones here. It started as a Japanese refrigerator ship, but in early 1980s, it was abandoned and left rusting in Roatan Harbor. As a hurricane approached, the decision was made to tow this 246-foot, 75-meter ship out to open water to make sure it didn't harm anything inside the harbor. If this was a good decision or not, well, I'll leave that to you. It didn't go as planned, so the ship caught on fire and burned uncontrollably until it sank around 7 miles northwest of the island. Now we got a steel wreck resting on the sandy plains with really nothing else inside, making this one like a magnet for marine life. So you got the wreck sitting around 75 feet depth, 23 meters, but you got some of the top rising parts of the ship at around 55 feet, 17 meters. It's mostly intact, lit eye on the side, and then it's covered in sponges and soft corals. There's no real safe place to do penetration because it's not an artificial wreck, and because it was sunk by a fire, there's no real places to go into it. But you got a lot of holes and buckets and things where marine life is swimming in and out, and where you can see a lot of things hiding on the inside. When you're looking out to the blue, you got some rays, you got reef sharks, turtles, and big groupers cruising by. Visibility here is excellent. We're talking 80 to 100 feet, 24 to 30 meters. And because we have this wide open ocean, there's of course also current, and this is one of the more advanced dives in the BVI Islands. Now we've been covering, well, most of the dives, but definitely not all of them. There's plenty to explore in the BVIs and plenty of wrecks left and plenty of dives as well for you to enjoy if you're going here. If you are planning a trip, we have a full guide on diving.com, so check that one out. The link is in the description. I would also recommend you to check out BVI Wreck Week and the Mooring Charter Group, because they've been helping out. They are really amazing at planning wreck trips. So if you're go for the wreck week, or if you're going on any other week of the year and just wants to do a lot of wreck diving or a lot of diving around BVI, check out their links in the description as well. Now, last thing I have for you is the giveaway, so make sure you follow that. 3 things is all you have to do. First up, like the video and subscribe to the channel. Second, follow the link in the description. The first one takes you to our newsletter. Sign up for that one, because it's in the newsletter that will announce the winner, so make sure you check that one out as well when we send it out. Last but not least, in the comments below, tell me what you think about diving in BVI. Would you join for the wreck week, and which of the dive sites would you like to see? That's all I had for now. I hope you enjoyed this wreck dive trip of BVI. I'm Tom from Divein, and as always, happy diving.